So in the last video, we took a look at how we could modulate up the part to a new key, and then we used the brass and the percussion to create a sort of build-up chromatic scale to the new key. Now, what will also work pretty well when you get to this new section is to add in a string ostinato. They'll just give that impression that the pace is increased and just uplift it even more. Now, what will work pretty well is to use the first violins, second violins, and the violas to do a string ostinato. So let's take a look at how we can do this. So this is going to start at bar 26 and go through to the end. Now I'm just going to take these parts here, just sort of move them out the way and mute them, and then create some new regions here. Now let's go into the first part and let's try program in an ostinato. It's going to be pretty fast, so that's why I'm actually going to use the programming in technique to program in these notes. So the first chord that's going to be in this new key is going to be C sharp minor. And I want to use the sort of root and fifth notes to build up this ostinato. Now let's use the fifth, then the root, then the fifth for the ostinato pattern. So the fifth of C sharp minor will be G sharp. So let's draw in a note on G sharp. So I'm going to get that note. Just make sure we're on the first violins. Okay. And what you would have noticed as well is that this is playing a long string pattern. I want to change the articulation when we get to this area. Now, what works pretty well with ostinatos are Mikado articulations. Now, in Logic, you can use articulation sets. In Cubase, you can use expression maps, or on your instrument, you can use key changing to switch between the different articulations. But for demonstration purposes in this video, I want to show you a little scripter app that I'm using where I can see the different articulations. This is a script tool from Babylon Waves called Art Conductor. They have discontinued this product in favor of Logic's articulation sets, but I quite like it for demonstration purposes just to show you what's happening. So as you can see here, you've got your different articulations and you can view them in the automation lane over here. So this is showing sustain, but what I actually want to do is change it up to marcato. And that'll be the same for the second violins. Oops, that one lost it a bit there. Let's drag that up again. And then on the violas as well. Cool. There we go. Now, if you jump back to the MIDI part, just play this back. Why is that not playing? It's because I've got this scripter disabled. I'm just going to quickly turn that on. That's on. There we go. So now if I play back, that's picking up the marcato patch. So the first note is going to be G sharp. Second note can be C sharp. Then G sharp again. And back to C. And maybe just change the velocities just to have a bit more dynamics with these. This part will be like this. And if you repeat that, just pull this up so we can see this in more detail. There we go. So it's going to be, the next chord is going to be A, which using the root and fifth will be A, E, A. So let's copy one of these across. It's going to E. It's going to A. So it'll be like this. Now, I would normally spend more detail, probably actually record it in so it picks up the different velocities so that each part is slightly different. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to quickly program this in. Then the next chord is E, with the root and fifth being B and E. So B, then E. That'll work quite nicely. Then the last chord is B. So that can be B to the F sharp and into the B. So your ostinato patterns can be like this. That's pretty cool. And then let's just copy that across to the second violins and shift it up an octave. Now the violas are going to be playing exactly the same as the first violins. So you can just copy that across as well. So together you've got this. Let's just pick up the correct articulations. And the violas. So that'll be this. And in context with the track. This is quite subtle. I'm just going to actually boost it up quite a bit. Let's actually just take the string volume here and increase that so you can hear it. And then you'll notice there it needs to repeat itself. So let's just go in, take that pattern, and repeat it again for that second bit. Now, what we need to figure out is how we're going to modulate this up. So it's going to be playing an ostinato and also do that chromatic movements up. So let's first work with the first violins. Let's just take these 4 notes. So it started out on A, then it goes up to A sharp, and that's actually from bar 25. Then to B, then to C. So let's hear that strings with the trumpets, I think. That's correct. And then we can just copy that across to the other instruments. Down to the second violins. Remember to shift it up an octave. And then the violas as well. Awesome. Now let's take a listen a bit before. So we'll start here. Awesome. So that's how to use a string ostinato to give some extra interest and push in your heroic compositions.